I get that though. So what it's like to be black in America. I know you guys like Jews. But you know, it's a speech that you gotta have, because every time someone brings that the black community up, or how they get along with the white community, there's tension there, there's uneasiness for a variety of reasons. And so I wanted to give this speech to give you in Santa Monica a window into my experience, how I deal with certain things, and a lot of what I say is going to be descriptive versus being prescriptive. So keep that in mind. I've been in this club for 1.5 years, and I've sat back and listened to a lot of speeches, and I wondered, should I give this speech? And I was like, yeah, I should give this speech, because Santa Monica, it's not a very diverse community. And so I think you guys need to hear this speech. And I'm going to start with, well, caveat, for another reason is because we want to have a lot less blackface comments in public. And if you don't know what that means, Google Megyn Kelly blackface, and you'll have a great understanding of that. So I want to take you through like a visualization really quick. So whatever space you have to get into, whether you close your eyes, whether you keep them open, but try to visualize what I'm going to take you through. So you get up, eat your breakfast, kiss your loved ones goodbye, you get in your car, you're driving to work, you hit LA traffic. You look at the person next to you, they're texting, they're driving. They don't look like you. Person behind you, they're honking, they're mad, you know, they gotta get somewhere. They don't look like you. Maybe another person on the right side, they're daydreaming about whatever. They don't look like you. You start to notice that no one looks like you, no one kind of you can identify with. You get to work, you have some pre-briefs meeting, maybe some debriefs, maybe a project kickoff. You're in the room and you're like, damn, no one looks like me, right? I'm like, whatever. Work's over, you go to the gym, Pilates, yoga, whatever you do, and you realize that again, no one looks like you. You're the only person that looks like you, talks like you, have the same mannerisms, the same slang. Get done, go to Whole Foods, go to a bakery, maybe pick up something, waiting in the checkout line, looking around. The magazines don't even look like you, not even pictures, not even the gossip columns. And so you get home, and you realize that you spent the whole day, and the only safe space you have right now is at home, because it's familiar, whether you're by yourself with your spouse or whoever, your roommates, and those are the people that create that safe space. Even if they don't look like you, you know you can be you, you can do you. That is what I feel like every single day, magnified times 10. Even in Toastmasters, so I had to bring the homie along so I didn't feel that way. So I appreciate it, Osh. So I just want to take you through that quick visualization, because that's kind of real talk. So I'm going to touch on 4 points, and hopefully I'll drive it home so you guys can really get this. And some of the questions I'll ask you aren't rhetorical, so you can give me a nod or yeah, we know or we don't know. How many of you have heard what's the black talk? Any of you heard the black talk? It's what we have with our kids from age 10 to 15. And it's a conversation about make sure when you go out, you're wearing the right clothes, right? Don't wear the hoodies. Don't wear the sweats. Don't sag your pants. Make sure you know what community you're in. Make sure you know what time of day it is. And make sure you keep account of how many friends are with you. And it's unfortunate that we have to have this talk with our kids, because the very people that our tax dollars go to protect us are more likely to kill us. Or we are more likely to have the police calling us by white America for making you and they feel uncomfortable because we're in your communities. So our kids they gotta know how to act. They have to know how to engage and what clothes to wear. And I'm gonna take you through a real life story. 2 years ago, I was in Seattle, and I was driving to a meeting, and I knew I had to get to a bad neighborhood. I'm thinking to myself, dang, there's two things that are gonna happen. I'm gonna get pulled over, and I'm either gonna get shot, or I'm gonna get a ticket and it's gonna be cool. Like, whatever, I gotta get to this meeting. So next thing you know, whoop, 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 whoop. You know the drill, some of you may know, lights are behind your head, so my hands are on the steering wheel, because I know the drill. So we have a cop coming to my right, I'm looking at it, I can see it in my mirror. He's got his hand in his strap, and he's staggered the one to the left. It's like license, registration, insurance. I'm like, here's my license, here's my insurance. The registration is in the glove box, and there's a strap in the glove box or a gun. But no worries, because I know I was good. I said, but if you want that, your partner's gonna have to get that. So he gets it, goes back to the car, runs my plates. He finds out what I know. I'm straight, I'm good. Comes back, he's like, we're gonna let you go. We appreciate how you handle that. And what he was saying was, I appreciate you not reaching in there and getting your registration, because we would have shot you. And it would have been a story of another black male getting shot reaching for a gun. That's what the black talk gets you. You have to know how to act in certain environments. And if you don't have those talks with your kids, they're gonna get murked out. They're gonna get killed, period. Second point is code switching. How many of you have heard what code switching is? Huh? It's what we do in the black community to make sure that we make you feel comfortable in your environment. It's what we also have to do to achieve any level of success in society. It's what I kind of give you guys for the last year and a half. I give you a little bit of me until you feel comfortable, then I give you the real. But you haven't quite got the real yet. See, most of us don't have the cachet of a Jay-Z or a Dr. West or a LeBron James or even a Maya Angelou to keep it 100 all the time. So we got a code switch. And what's code switching? It's simply, watching what you wear. What am I wearing? Is it offending you? Or, am I offending you? Watching my tone. I got to make sure that my tone doesn't offend you in your environment. It's pronunciating my words correctly because I want to make sure you get it the way you're used to hearing it. It's sacrificing who we are to make sure you're comfortable in your environment. True story, talking to, I like to talk to people that are successful, so set up a meeting with this high exec that reports directly to Satya in Microsoft, having a conversation. And I'm like, man, how do you stand in front of people and give these talks? How are you so comfortable and what do you do on bad days? And he said, Clarence, you just gotta be confident, you just gotta be you. And I realized at that moment, I was talking to a white male in America, and he didn't get it. And it's not his fault, but we work so hard to get to those positions, and so many people are depending on us to succeed that we can't step outside our lane. We can't be that comfortable because we're afraid of retribution, we're afraid of sticking out. And I think when corporate America figures out that we got to create a safe space for minorities, that's when you're going to see creativity and ingenuity, because people will step forward and say, what about this, what about this, without fear of losing their jobs. Third point, the apology. This isn't a question. If race relations, in my humble opinion, are to get better, there's to be progress, there needs to be an outright apology and an acknowledgement that slavery happened, Jim Crow happened, and over 4,000 blacks plus got lynched. This acknowledgement can only happen if people are courageous enough to step forward and say that, yep, those things happened, and I know it's affected the black community then, now, and it will be in the future. So let's try to fix this. Let's try to make this happen. And I want to clear up a misconception. Black folks, we don't resent you for white privilege. We don't really care. We just want you to acknowledge it, that it exists, that you benefit from it, and we want you, most importantly, to use your platform, your God-given platform, to advocate for those who can't advocate for themselves. And white privilege is not coming from money or coming from the perfect home. White privilege is simply being a white person that comes from maybe a dysfunctional background, or even, maybe even a criminal, maybe even poor. But you can call the cops on any black person and they'll believe you over the black person. That's white privilege. And of course, there's a story that follows. That's a true story. I was with a mentor in Panera Bread, and we were eating for a while. And then, we're getting up to leave. He's like, "Oh, I forgot to get my drink." Panera Bread, you can go and they give you a cup. He's like, "I'm just gonna go up there and get it." I'm like, "You're just gonna go up there and get it?" He's like, "Yeah." And so I look at him like, I'm like, you gotta show me your receipt. And then we still talk about this to this day. He's like, "No, I'm just gonna go up there and let them know that I didn't get my drink and I need it." And I'm like, "You gotta get a receipt, because if I go up there and I say I forgot my drink, I'm better off paying for another drink, because I don't want to hear your mouth. And I don't want to have to pull up my phone, show you my account, and say, 'No, I actually paid for some food, I just need my drink,' right?" So it's just funny having those conversations, because he naturally thought that I'm just gonna go up there and ask for it, and I naturally thought that I gotta have a receipt, or there's no way I'm just gonna, that drink's a wrap, I'm good, right? And I just want to illustrate a second point of what white privilege is. And some people may not know it because they travel in that circle. And the fourth point is, we're all the same. Now I want you guys to get this. I'm gonna drive this home. The same crime element that white folks are afraid of, black folks are afraid of. The same crime element that you are afraid of, we're afraid of. But white America acts like because we're black, we get along with the criminals better. For some reason, I don't know. But I want you to know that we're somebody's sons. We're somebody's daughters. We're somebody's nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, fathers, and mothers. And we deserve the same grace and empathy that you want. We're no less of a human being than you are. I know it was thought of decades ago, but we're not. And I wouldn't change anything from my life. About my life, I wouldn't. Some days I sit back and I'm like, damn, like this is crazy, right? But I realize that it's given me grit. It's given me the understanding of what a growth mindset is, being able to step back and understand different situations and accept different people. But most of all, it's given me empathy. I really believe if I wasn't born black, I wouldn't have the empathy gene. I just wouldn't care. But because I know what it feels like, I have compassion for those who need compassion. And my motto is really, service is the rent we pay for living on this earth. And in closing, I would say, this speech is really not to make you feel bad. It's just to give you kind of a window, flavor into what that black experience is like, what we go through, the things you hear where you're like, nah, that don't really happen. It happens, it goes down. But most importantly is to ask you, we need you to be advocates for us. We need you to advocate for people that can't advocate for themselves. Sometimes the people that can move the dial on the black issue, gay, lesbian, trans, bisexual, or even the female issues, are people that are not in that genre, are not in that situation. So we need you to advocate for us, for the people that can't advocate for themselves. And an example of this is when Jonathan Godley got up, and it was a Pledge of Allegiance, and he said, I think he gave a speech, and he said, "This is what I protest in silence for the flag, and this is why those players take a knee." And I was proud because he was advocating for me in here. But if he gives that same talk somewhere else, because of who he is, he's gonna move the dial on that topic much faster than I can. Because if I say, they're gonna be like, yeah, of course, yeah, you're signing with the Ballers. Yeah, we get that, so what's new? But because of who he is, he's gonna move that dial. And that's what I mean by we need you to advocate for us. Thank you, and I know that went over on a clip. But